Hi everyone, welcome to my new video about the acting intensive program at South Coast Rep. I'm exhausted. It's been a wild couple of weeks. We're just starting our third week, and it's every day is a new adventure. So what I really wanted to concentrate on in this video was the idea of questioning. Both my acting for camera class and one of my acting classes, text and character with Karen Hensel, we really concentrated on choices and asking particular questions. In my acting for the camera class, he gave us just a 2-page side that might be typical for an audition, say for a TV spot. And all it is dialogue. You don't know anything about the characters. You don't really know the story of the film or the show, and you have to somehow populate this character based just on what you get in the dialogue. There's no stage direction or anything, and so we spent a long time just looking at the text and figuring out what we already know about the characters based on the text and what we think we might know about the characters based on the text. And we spent a good long time on it and came up with dozens and dozens of possibilities and possible questions about what's going on in the head of these characters. And it just was pretty eye-opening for me. And the other was Karen Hensel's class. She gave us an open scene, or I think she called it a neutral scene. I think of them as open scenes. But this is a scene where there's just character A and character B, and there's no character description. Again, there's no understanding of an overarching story arc. We just see what is in this particular scene. And in this scene, one character is visiting another character, presumably to pick up some stuff. And she had us, every single person in the group got the same scene, and she had us pair up with 3 other actors independently, and with each person we were to create a scene. We were to make decisions about what was actually happening and who these characters were, and she wanted it in 3 different genres. We had to come up with a drama, we had to come up with a romantic comedy, and we had to come up with like a thriller, or some people did like a sci-fi. And once again, it was just reminding me how many possibilities there are, how many different ways of looking at one particular piece of dialogue that can absolutely open it up. And I have a tendency, and I think a lot of actors do, especially if I think I know a character, I'll read the script and I'll go, oh, I know what's happening here. I know what's going on in this character's head. And I kind of stop at my first or second reading. I don't really take the time necessarily. I mean, I ask all the standard questions. Who am I? What are my relationships? What do I want in the scene? What do I want in the rest of the story? What was I doing the moment before? I ask all of those questions, but I tend to make a decision when I ask those questions, and then I'm done. But this exercise really just showed how many possibilities there are. And it was a tough day for me. I think it was the middle of the week. It may have been Wednesday or Thursday of last week. And I was just exhausted. And we were supposed to have this scene memorized. And I had honestly listened to the scene my entire drive, and I hit traffic. So it was a good long time. I was rehearsing that scene, and I could not get the lines. And I'm watching other people perform the scene, and I'm hearing the teacher remind people not to carry their script with them, and I'm thinking, I'm in trouble because I don't know these lines. But I was not about to take my script up there. And so it was time for us to do the drama. My scene partner Xavier and I did a drama in which we decided that we would be grandmother and grandson, and that I would be visiting him to pick up some things because he was moving out of his apartment, but that I had dementia. And So we actually conscripted another actor. Thank you so much, Maggie, because Maggie's the one that got me through this. Maggie, to be my sort of my caretaker. She had no lines, but she was the one who, when I lose it towards the end, she's the one who kind of makes sure that I get safely home. And she and I were back behind the flat, about ready to start the scene. I was going to knock on the door, and I asked her to hug me, and I'm just telling her I'm so exhausted. I don't know these lines. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing here? And she said, "Well, you have dementia. It doesn't matter if you know the lines." And it just was that kind of oh, okay, yeah, you're right. And then I turned around and knocked on the door and did the scene. And it was a really nice moment to be able to just say, yep, I don't think I know these lines. I'm not even going to call for line. I'm just going to stumble through and be this. So in that instance, my exhaustion and confusion apparently played pretty well, because I got a lot of good feedback from my demented grandmother. But the point is that I certainly won't from now on get stuck in my first reading, and I encourage you to keep questioning. Look and see what the text tells you about what this character is doing and thinking, and then ask the questions about the possibilities. What could this character be doing and thinking? And trying those possibilities, even if they're completely outlandish. I mean, my goodness, every single person in our group was doing the same scene, and there were dozens and dozens of different stories being told with the very same scene. And just the creativity and the imagination was really phenomenal to watch. So that's my biggest lesson for this week, for this past week, I think, is really concentrating on questions and possibilities and thinking beyond my first decision. And I may come back to that first decision sometimes, but I'm not saying I'm going to reject my first choices, but I'm not going to assume that my first choice is the only choice, because clearly it's not. Okay, have a great day. I'm going to be at VidCon later this week. I can't wait. My son Parker's flying in tomorrow, so I get to see him soon. And I'm really, really glad I'm here, even though I'm completely exhausted. Okay, bye-bye.